Keyang, designed for Six Sigma for service, creating services customers love and competitors can't copy. Every time you walk into a coffee shop, check into a hotel, or call customer support, you're experiencing the end result of countless design decisions. Some of these experiences delight you: the barista who remembers your name, the hotel that somehow anticipates your needs, the support agent who solves your problem in minutes. Others leave you frustrated, wondering why something so simple has to be so difficult. The difference between these experiences: it all comes down to how well the service was designed from the very beginning. The good news is that creating those delightful experiences consistently is something you can learn. This blink reveals the systematic approach that separates exceptional services from mediocre ones. You'll discover why fixing broken processes alone will never be enough, and how leading companies are moving beyond traditional improvement methods to fundamentally reimagine how services should work. Whether you're running a small team or overseeing an entire organization, by the end, you'll have the knowledge to build services that create lasting value for both your customers and your business. Improving your service alone isn't enough. When you think about a service, whether it's a hotel stay, a bank loan, or a software help desk, you're dealing with something fundamentally different from a physical product. Services are intangible. They can't be stored in a warehouse or inspected before they reach you. They are produced and consumed at the same time, making their quality intensely variable. That's why one visit to a coffee shop can be perfect, while the next leaves you wondering what went wrong. This brings us to the inherent challenge for any service organization: how to deliver excellence consistently when your product is an experience. The common approach focuses on process improvement. You might use a framework like Six Sigma's DMAIC: define, measure, analyze, improve, and control. This system finds and fixes flaws in existing processes. For instance, you could use it to reduce billing errors or cut down on those endless call center wait times. But here's where things get interesting. This approach has a critical limitation. It can only optimize a process that's already in place. It can't fundamentally change a flawed design. If the core design fails to meet customer needs, DMAIC will only help you execute that flawed design more efficiently. You end up perfecting the wrong activities, constantly fixing problems baked into the system from day one. The real breakthrough comes when you shift your mindset from fixing to creating. Enter Design for Six Sigma, or DFSS. Here, you use a systematic, proactive approach to design a service built for excellence from the ground up. Think of it as architecting a superior service rather than endlessly patching a broken one. To apply this design-centric mindset, you need a clear grasp of what a service actually is. And here's the good news: you can deconstruct any service into three distinct, manageable components. First is the service product, all those tangible and intangible outputs the customer receives. In a hospital, this goes beyond medical treatment. It includes the diagnosis, care items, even the discharge instructions you hope you'll never need again. Next comes the service delivery process, the specific workflow that creates and delivers that product. Picture a car rental agency. This is the entire sequence, from collecting your license and credit card to checking availability, printing the contract, and handing over the keys. The third component is the customer-provider interaction. This human element often makes or breaks the experience. It's the agent's friendly greeting, their patience when you ask about insurance options repeatedly, and how clearly they explain the unfamiliar car's features. These three elements, product, process, and interaction, form the blueprint of any service. By intentionally designing each one, you create a system that consistently delivers high value. A superior service product attracts customers and revenue. An efficient delivery process minimizes cost and boosts profit. And excellent customer interaction builds the loyalty that keeps people coming back for more. But how do you know which specific features and qualities to build into each of these components? Let's find out. The foundation of design. The first step in designing a superior service. Forget about features for a moment. You need to understand what your customer truly values. While it's tempting to start brainstorming new functions or cutting costs, These actions are directionless, without a clear grasp of the customer's perspective. The entire design process should be grounded in a simple but powerful equation. Value equals the sum of all perceived benefits minus the sum of all perceived liabilities. Your goal is to engineer a service experience that maximizes this formula, creating a large surplus of value in the customer's mind. But to do this, you need to deconstruct what benefits and liabilities actually mean. They're much more than just performance and price. Let's start with benefits, a combination of three elements. First come the functional benefits. This means the service reliably does what it's supposed to do, whether that's providing an accurate medical diagnosis or delivering a fast food meal that tastes exactly as expected. But functionality alone won't win hearts. You must design for the psychological benefits too. These are the emotional rewards, the feeling of prestige from a luxury brand, the sense of security from a trusted bank, or the pride from choosing an environmentally conscious company. Then there are service and convenience benefits, which revolve around how easy it is to access your service and get help when something goes wrong. A well-designed service delivers on all three fronts, offering something that works, feels good to use, and is refreshingly easy to engage with. On the flip side are the liabilities, which extend far beyond the sticker price. Economical liabilities include the initial price, but also the customer's acquisition costs. All that time and effort spent obtaining the service, plus ongoing usage costs. Just as with benefits, you have to account for psychological liabilities. This is the risk a customer feels with an unknown brand, or that potential hit to their self-esteem from using a low-performance product. Nobody wants to feel like they made the wrong choice. Then come service and convenience liabilities, the friction caused by poor support, endless waiting times, or difficulty accessing the service. So how do you turn these concepts into a strategic blueprint? Start by capturing what customers truly think through carefully designed surveys. Once you've collected this data, you can create a visualization called a customer value map. Picture a chart that plots your service and competitors on a grid, with market-perceived quality on one axis and relative price on the other. This map instantly reveals your strategic position. Are you playing it safe with competitors, standing out as a high-value leader, or sitting vulnerably as a low-value player? This visualization shows you where you stand and where you need to go. From what to how. Having established what your customers value, you're now at a critical juncture in the design process. You know, based on your customer value map, which attributes you need to excel at to win in the marketplace. But this strategic knowledge is still abstract, right? Your challenge now is translating a customer desire, like a feeling of security, or a convenient experience, into concrete engineering specifications, process steps, and staff training protocols. So this is where you shift gears from strategic analysis to tactical design. The first tool in your arsenal is Quality Function Deployment, or QFD. Think of it as a systematic planning framework that keeps customer needs front and center throughout the design process. The heart of QFD is a matrix diagram called the House of Quality. Imagine a grid where customer needs, the what's, line up on one side, and your technical requirements, the how's, sit across the top. Let's say a customer tells you, "I want my hotel check-in to be fast." Using this matrix, you translate that desire into measurable specifications, like time from entering lobby to receiving key is under 3 minutes, or number of required signatures is 1. This process links every design decision back to a specific customer desire, ensuring your team focuses exclusively on features that create value. The matrix shows you exactly which technical changes will have the biggest impact. Now, the next challenge is finding the most cost-effective way to achieve them. Enter value engineering, a creative methodology that helps you deliver those functions without overspending. Value engineering asks you to describe every part of your service as a simple action. You use 2 words, a verb and a noun. Take that customer intake form, what's its function? To capture information. The keycard, permit access. Why does this matter? When you think customer intake form, your mind gets stuck on that specific piece of paper. But when you think capture information, suddenly you're free to consider alternatives. Maybe a tablet interface, a pre-arrival app, or voice recognition. Same with the keycard. When you focus on permit access, you might realize a smartphone app could do the job better and cheaper. By combining these two approaches, using the customer-focused matrix to identify what functions matter most, then applying creative thinking to deliver those functions efficiently, you build a service that delivers both high value and healthy profit margins. These tools transform abstract customer desires into concrete specifications your team can execute with confidence. How to design a service process. Even a brilliantly designed service product's value can be destroyed by a poorly designed delivery process. A system that's slow, inefficient, and full of waste will frustrate both your customers and your employees, regardless of how great the final output is. So once you've engineered what your service is, your focus should shift to architecting how it's delivered. This brings us to process management, the systematic approach to designing and improving the workflows that bring your service to life. The reality is that many service processes, especially those in office environments, evolve organically over time. They accumulate redundant steps, unnecessary approvals, and hidden inefficiencies that no one ever questions. The first step toward excellence, making these invisible processes visible. The most effective philosophy for this is lean operation, systematically eliminating waste from your processes. In practice, this means hunting down any activity that consumes resources but adds no value from the customer's perspective. Think about defects requiring rework, employees waiting for approvals, needless processing steps, or reports nobody asked for. To identify this waste, you'll use value stream mapping. This is hands-on detective work. You physically walk along your process path with a pencil and stopwatch, charting every step from initial customer request to final service delivery. You measure time for each step, distinguishing true value-added work from the vast stretches spent waiting in queues or bouncing between departments. The results can be shocking. Workflows taking weeks often contain only minutes of actual value-creating activity. Your value stream map might expose dozens of improvement areas, creating a new challenge. What should you focus on first? Attempting to fix everything at once leads to chaos. This is where the theory of constraints, or TOC, comes into play. It says that any system's output is limited entirely by its single weakest link, the bottleneck. This bottleneck is that one specific machine, department, or person where work consistently piles up, starving subsequent steps. Here's the thing though, any effort spent improving a non-bottleneck is completely wasted. An hour saved at a non-bottleneck is a mirage. It does nothing to increase overall throughput. To truly improve performance, apply all your energy to that single leverage point. The theory of constraints provides a 5-step process. First, identify the system's constraint. Then exploit it by ensuring its time is never wasted on rework or sitting idle. Next, subordinate everything else. Get every other process part to match the constraint's rhythm, preventing new logjams. When you've maximized current capacity, elevate the constraint by investing strategically to expand it. Finally, repeat. Once that bottleneck breaks, a new one will emerge elsewhere, so you'll need to start the cycle again. This relentless focus on the one thing that matters most is the fastest way to transform your service delivery. By combining Lean's waste elimination with the theory of constraint strategic focus, you create a delivery process that matches the excellence of your service design. Fast, efficient, and consistently valuable to customers. Achieving mastery through innovation and brand. Now that you have the tools to design a valuable service product and an efficient process to deliver it, you can achieve operational excellence. But here's the thing, in a competitive marketplace, excellence alone won't guarantee long-term leadership. The final stage of mastery involves moving beyond optimization and learning how to innovate systematically while building a memorable and resilient identity. This is where you create a service that competitors can't easily copy and customers will never want to leave. The first step? Adopt a structured approach to creativity, moving beyond conventional brainstorming to a proven methodology for inventive problem-solving. This framework is called TRIZ, a Russian acronym for the Theory of Inventive Problem Solving. Drawn from an analysis of thousands of patents, TRIZ is built on a core insight. Nearly every significant invention succeeds by resolving a fundamental technical contradiction. What exactly is a technical contradiction? It occurs when improving one desirable feature inevitably worsens another. You might want to increase personalized attention in your service, but doing so increases cost and slows delivery time. The typical business response? Find a compromise. TRIZ takes a different path entirely. It provides patterns for innovation that guide you toward breakthrough solutions, ways to deliver both personalization and efficiency without the trade-off. But a breakthrough innovation needs something else to succeed. It has to be delivered as part of a coherent story that customers can connect with. This brings us to brand development. Your brand goes far beyond a name or logo. It represents your promise to the customer, existing as a unique set of associations in their mind. The foundation of a strong brand. A clear and intentional brand identity that captures what your brand stands for and the value it aims to deliver. This identity breaks down into 4 distinct dimensions that work together. Let's briefly look at each. Your identity includes the brand as a product, defined by its quality, features, and functionality. Then there's the brand as an organization, which communicates your company's core values, being trustworthy, innovative, or socially responsible. A compelling brand needs personality too. The brand as a person projects human characteristics customers relate to, whether that's rugged, sophisticated, or fun. Finally, the brand as a symbol uses visual logos and imagery to create instant recognition and lasting associations. Together, innovation and identity form the final edge. When you consistently solve problems in original ways and wrap those solutions in a brand that resonates, you create lasting differentiation. It's not just about being better, it's about being unmistakably you. That's what keeps competitors behind and customers coming back. In this Blink to Design for Six Sigma for Service by Kai Yang, you've learned that truly exceptional services require designing from the ground up with a deep grasp of what customers actually value. This holistic approach creates services that go beyond satisfying customers. They lead markets and define categories. By integrating value design, process excellence, breakthrough innovation, and memorable branding, you build something competitors struggle to match and customers refuse to abandon. Okay, that's it for this Blink. We hope you enjoyed it. If you can, please take the time to leave us a rating. We always appreciate your feedback. See you soon.